All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for a few real people out there just like you and me. This is another sad day in the world of classic rock. Is one of my favorite bands. Their singer, songwriter, and band leader, brilliant guy, Myles Goodwin, has passed away at the age of 75. He was the leader of the band April Wine. Now, I know a few people may have forgotten about April Wine because April Wine doesn't get the time of day here in the United States of America. Playlists are typically not including the music of April Wine. I don't know any classic rock stations here in the United States. Maybe on an off Thursday, you might hear a song by April Wine. For me, the big album was Nature of the Beast. Although some people, got into April Wine prior to that. My Canadian friends are going to go back to the early 70s, and they do so rightfully because April Wine has been making great music for over 50 years, right? So unlike the United States, Canada has recognized April Wine in their Canadian Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't think this band would ever be considered for the American Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And it's not just because of, there are not as many bands in Canada as there are in the United States, because we haven't even put the Guess Who or Bachman Turner Overdrive or Triumph into the American Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So it's going to be a cold day in hell when April Wine gets inducted. But I had the Nature of the Beast. I used to play it start to finish, had the cassette, had this stupid boombox that only had one speaker instead of two. It was a radio boombox cassette player. The coolest thing, except, my parents didn't want to buy me the bigger boombox. I was already playing music way too loud at that point. And I remember raking the backyard, raking all the leaves. I put the cassette in there, played side one, flipped it over, had to stop, of course, and flip it, and then play side two. It's one of the few albums that I could listen to from start to finish and not be bored. Obviously, you had Sign of the Gypsy Queen, Just Between You and Me, Caught in the Crossfire. I mean, these songs were just like really well put together. And that album kind of epitomized the sound from the rock world in 1981. I mean, that was it. They harnessed both the classic rock of the 70s and some of the new wave tendencies of the early 80s. They fused it and they rocked it up. And they even had a power ballad, right? Which hit number 21 here in the United States. It's called Just Between You and Me. There's no reason that song can't be on a soft rock station today. There's no reason. It's just bias or laziness or the fact that you don't want a playlist with too many songs, which is ridiculous because as I get older, I get more bored with the music industry and what they're doing to cater toward people like me who supposedly have income. I would if YouTube would do what they're supposed to do. But in any event, folks, this is a great band. Myles Goodwin, a great singer. People forget, songwriter, band leader, the whole thing. Here's a little history of the band. Their 1972 single, this is how far they go back. They started April Wine, by the way, in 1969. But the song in 72, You Could Have Been a Lady, peaked at number 32 on the Billboard Hot 100. I'm sure it did way better in the Great White North. And that's how long this band has been chugging along. They made great music during the 70s. Myles Goodwin said he was retiring at the beginning of this year. I think he performed one last show in Nova Scotia back in March, but he would be retiring and that April Wine would continue with his blessing. That's interesting. So, did they find another singer? That I didn't know that was happening. He says, although I'm still in the band recording the guys and producing, I am now officially retired from touring, Goodwyn said at the time. I will miss the shows, the fans, and the other bands that have been friends for years, but health reasons made this decision necessary. So he had been struggling with health problems over the years. Most notably, he collapsed at the airport in 2008. The rocker was suffering from internal bleeding because he was drinking too much, alcohol abuse, and apparently at the time, people said he was lucky to survive that incident. So he's been struggling with health problems for a number of years. Some people will say maybe he was lucky to make it to 75. April Wine's 1981 album, The Nature of the Beast, became their biggest commercial hit in the States with over 1 million copies sold, deservedly so. It also spawned their biggest hit, Just Between You and Me, which peaked at number 21. By the way, the band continued to record really great music during the 80s and did get rock radio airplay. Songs like This Could Be the Right One, if you go and find that one. What's weird about April Wine is there's never been, at least here in the States, any hoopla over a definitive collection of April Wine music from start to finish, like a box set or something. Maybe there's one up in Canada. Maybe they released one and I didn't hear about it. But fans of this band have been underserved over the years. You know, typically when a 40th anniversary or a 50th anniversary of something happens, you know, there's a reissue with lost tracks, and I haven't seen or heard of any from April Wine, although I could be mistaken. Anyway, one of the great bands, seriously, of all time, in my humble opinion. Also, Canadian rock royalty, ladies and gentlemen, and deservedly so. But if you can't get the Guess Who into the Hall of Fame, you can't get Triumph or Bachman-Turner Overdrive into the American Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There's no way that you're going to get April Wine in there either. Obviously, my thoughts and prayers go out to Myles' family and all the fans. I mean, a lot of Canadian fans today have to be heartbroken because this guy, again, I'm trying to put this into perspective. Losing Myles Goodwin in Canada, it might be similar to, say, losing, I don't know, maybe Neil Schon here in the United States. I mean, Myles is a big deal up there. And rest in peace, Myles. It's too bad you weren't around longer, and it's also too bad that the industry pretty much ignored April Wine for a very long time, at least here in the United States. So anyway, thanks for watching, and keep watching, please. Subscribe to the videos, and if you want to support this channel, you can do so via Patreon and through YouTube memberships. Thanks to everyone who has stuck with me. God bless everyone, and please continue to pray for peace in the Middle East, and I will see you soon.